Creating a culture of integrity and accountability not only improves effectiveness, it also generates a respectful, enjoyable, and life-giving setting in which to work. Let integrity be your watchword at all times. Hello and thanks for joining us on another episode of The Eagle. My name is Aisha Muhammad.
Good day, Nigerians. As we all know, cybercrime is progressing at an incredibly fast pace. It is giving a bad image to Nigeria, affecting our economy and draining the youth of this country. Let us work collectively against cybercrime wherever it is committed. I am Abdurrashid Bawa, Executive Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Stand for the right thing always. Thank you.
Collaboration means to work with another person or group in order to achieve or do something. Collaboration skills enable you to successfully work towards a common goal with others, and it includes communicating clearly, actively listening to others, taking responsibility for mistakes, and respecting the diversity of your team. When successfully done, collaboration aids successful execution of mandates. This is the reason why the EFCC always collaborates with sister agencies to achieve its mandate of ridding Nigeria of corruption. Aisha Gambari is standing by to take us through some collaborative engagement the EFCC had with stakeholder agencies.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC and the Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited NAGCOMSAT have vowed to work together to ensure that the anti-graft agency's job of getting rid of corruption is enhanced through the deployment of cutting-edge satellite communication technology resources. The Executive Chairman of the EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, and the Managing Director of NAGCOMSAT, Abimbola Alale, reached this understanding when the latter visited the EFCC headquarters in Abuja. Alale, who said the visit was to expand the existing partnership between the two agencies, presented a bouquet of services of the agency through the Special Projects Officer, Morakinyo Akinola, which she believed would add value to the work of the EFCC. She said, NAGCOMSAT thrives on seamless communications through innovation and provides channels and broadband connections to be able to translate virtual data in a secure and comfortable way. The Managing Director further offered an extensive solution which she believes will assist the Commission, and they include creative solutions in the identity authentication ecosystem and the use of dedicated channels for broadcast of programs. She stressed that their organization have innovations in terms of biometric and radio frequency identification-based solutions that will look into the issues of staff attendance, access control system, report management, leave management, and visitors and guest management system. Impressed by the presentation, the EFCC Chairman Abdurrashid Bawa noted that most of the propositions from the NAGCOMSAT were issues already being considered by the agency. He said that the Commission has received several proposals from consultants in the private sector and has set up committees to look at all the proposals as the Commission is planning on digitalization of all its processes. Bawa emphasized the importance of collaboration between government agencies.
We have set up committees to look at many of these things. We are planning to digitalize our process because we believe that technology is the way, ICT is the way. And that's why deliberately I have Director of Operations here, the Head of ICT, Head of Forensics. I forgot Director of Intelligence. He just joined us while the presentation was on. Director of Organization Support and the Head of Media. Of course, we have listened to the presentation. We will go back, study it further. As government, we need to work with a sister government, agency, etc.
He further called on NAGCOMSAT and all Nigerians to join the anti-corruption fight in order to make Nigeria a better country for everyone. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC and the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative NETI have resolved to strengthen their collaboration in fighting corruption in the extractive sector, to plug in loopholes and ensure full recovery of revenues due to the federal government of Nigeria. Speaking when he received the Executive Secretary of NETI, Dr. Oji Ogbonnaya Oji, at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja, the Executive Chairman of the EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, tasked the agency to tap the experience and capacity of the EFCC in extractive industries fraud investigation in order to improve the delivery of her mandate.
EFCC is everybody's organization. Our doors are always open for every government agency, for individuals, for corporate entities to come. Tell us how they want to relate with us, how they want our cooperation, and we are always ready to do that. Because by law, we are expected to collaborate with government agencies as well as people in the private sector to ensure that the mandate of the EFCC is achieved. We have to do all that we have to do to ensure that what is accruable to this country is being paid into the coffers of this country for the betterment of we all Nigerians. Gone are the days whereby things are being done the way they are done. And I think with your help, with the information that you'll be sharing with us going forward, we will be able to deal with that.
He urged the agency to take advantage of the Extractive Industries Fraud section of the EFCC, which was created exclusively to tackle fraud in the extractive sector. He intimated his guests about the setting up of the special team for petroleum subsidy in 2012, of which he was a member, and how the team has transformed into a section now known as the Extractive Industry Fraud section across all the Commission's zonal offices. The EFCC boss further expressed the desire to have NETI participate in an EFCC project on fraud risk assessment in the petroleum industry. He further offered to assist NETI in building the capacity of its workforce with training opportunities at the EFCC Academy located in Karu, Abuja. In his remarks, Executive Secretary NETI Oji said he came to the EFCC in order to strengthen the existing relationship between the two agencies, noting that NETI, since its establishment, has been upfront in the discharge of its responsibilities, culminating in substantial improvement in revenue remittances in the oil and gas sector. Apart from improving revenue accruals to the government, he also credited NETI with laying the foundation for the petroleum industries bill. Oji, however, lamented that NETI is handicapped by the fact that it has no enforcement powers.
We're here to pay you our respect, to also pay respect to the EFCC for the courageous, bold, and very wonderful job they have been doing for the soul of our country. We in NETI pray for you. We stand with you, and every day, please be assured of our support. We are ready to share our independent industry audit templates for you to make it use, so that by the time our reports comes out, it will contain the kind of incisive information and data that will help you in your work. There's a lot that is happening in the industry that EFCC needs to come in and step forward.
He further observed that NETI and EFCC have a memorandum of understanding which was yet to be formalized. He requested that the document is signed by the agency heads and a special desk created for seamless relationship and information sharing. Responding, Bawa said, with or without the MOU, the EFCC was willing to strengthen its collaboration with NETI. He, however, gave directives that immediate steps were taken to get the MOU signed so that the collaboration can kickstart. In another development, a three-man team of the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) have paid a courtesy visit to the Benin Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Assistant Legal Attaché to the FBI, Joseph Zadik, who led the team, commended the Commission for its efforts in tackling cyber crimes and other forms of financial crimes. He said that the visit was to further enhance the cooperation and partnership between the EFCC and the FBI. The head of the EFCC Benin Zonal Office, Mokhtar Bello, who received the delegation, thanked the team for the visit and assured them of the Commission's continuous partnership with them in its effort to rid the society of economic and financial crimes. Others on the team are criminal investigator Ayotunde Awoyemi and special investigator Osema Kajim Oscar. Aisha Gambari reporting for the Eagle.
The Lagos Zonal Head of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ahmad Gali, has said that non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and civil society organizations, CSOs, have critical roles to play in curbing money laundering and terrorism financing in Nigeria. Gali stated this at a seminar jointly organized by Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, and the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, GIABA, AML-CFT Forum, Nigeria, and NGOs CSOs Consortium in Ikeja, Lagos. Amina Kawa has the details.
Delivering a paper entitled The Role of Non-Governmental Organizations and Civil Society Organizations in Countering Terrorism Financing in Nigeria, Gali stressed that the law will not allow any NGO, CSO, that allows itself to be a tool for perpetuating money laundering or terrorism financing in Nigeria. He said the varied funding sources and the ability of NGOs and CSOs to process large amounts of cash to beneficiaries and regularly transmitting funds between jurisdictions make them prone to money laundering and financing of terrorism.
Over the years, NGOs and the CSOs have been a fulcrum of non-governmental participation in fund mobilization, distribution, and addressing social or political issues affecting the country. The emphasis is usually advocacy of human rights, poverty alleviation, and improving the welfare of the disadvantaged. By the laws establishing NGOs and the CSOs, sources of funds for executing these jobs ranges from membership dues, sales of goods and services, philanthropic foundation, grants for local, state, federal agencies, international organizations, and private donations. All these are sources from which NGOs generate their funds. And the ability of the NGOs and the CSO to process large amounts of cash to beneficiaries and regularly transmit funds between jurisdictions make them prone to money laundering and financing of terrorism by criminal elements, both from within and outside the country, thereby posing serious security threat to the financial system and the country at large.
According to him, it is mandatory to report to the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCUMO, for any transaction through any formal financial channels in excess of $10,000 and any cash donation in excess of $1,000, stressing that failure to do this is punishable by the law. Amina Kawa, reporting for the Eagle.
Corruption is a kankawamu, na kankawamu. I said na kankawamu, na kankawamu. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together. Oh yeah, every woman come out. We could fight corruption together. Oh, every woman fall out. We could kill corruption together. Oh, them they thief our money. Send them over to Igbo. Children they suffer every day. Better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh, women from every sector. Make we fight corruption. We won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and car. We no see. I said nakankawamu, nakankawamu.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we all know.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC has urged Nigerian students and youth corps members to embrace hard work and shun any involvement in computer-related frauds. The zonal head of the Lagos office, Gali Ahmad, gave the charge at a national-wide attitudinal reorientation program for students in tertiary institutions Southwest Zone organized by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration, held at the Lagos State Polytechnic.
Gali, represented by Head Public Affairs Directorate, Lagos Office, Ayo Oyewole, said the warning had become imperative following the alarming rates of youth involvement in all forms of social vices across the country. He stressed that there is no better time than now to sensitize and encourage students and youths to shun all forms of criminal tendencies and imbibe desirable attitude necessary for national development and better future. Gali urged the youths to always deploy their talents and ingenuity to good use, and the nation will be better off for it. In a similar development, members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, have been charged to be change agents in the fight against economic and financial crimes in the country. Head, Benin Zonal Office, Mukhtar Bello, stated this during a meeting with the members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, EFCC anti-corruption CD groups. The Benin Zonal Head, who educated the core members on the activities of the Commission, said the youth have a critical role to play in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. He said core members are dynamic young men and women whose energy can be harnessed. He charged the core members to imbibe the culture of excellence as future leaders of the country and to shun all forms of criminality. Earlier, President of the NYSC EFCC Anti-Corruption CD Group, Adeniyi Tayo, who led the group on the courtesy visit, said they were in the EFCC to know more about its activities and how they can partner with the Commission in curbing the menace of economic and financial crimes. Amina Kawa, reporting for The Eagle.
Unemployment is not a criteria. Remove somebody from Liberia, creating bad image for Nigeria. Now Yahoo be your career, mama.
Because say government no employ you, that one no be criteria. Make you can't do Yahoo as your career. You can't do people for Australia, UK, Liberia, Bulgaria, USA, or anywhere for diaspora. You can't spend the money on top Victoria, Gloria, Funke, Halima, Nkechi, Maria, shopping for them for Victoria, creating bad image for Nigeria. If you don't stop, no issues, no barrier, you go soon see EFCC for your area.
Remember, EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
You're still watching The Eagle, your anti-corruption program from the stables of the EFCC. According to the Economic Times, capital market is a market where buyers and sellers engage in trade of financial securities like bonds, stock, etc. The buying and selling is undertaken by participants such as individuals and institutions. Capital market is that segment of the financial market that deals with effective channeling of medium to long-term funds from the surplus to the deficit unit. In the society today, there are certain frauds that take place through the capital market. We will focus on these frauds to know how to avoid them. To discuss this and more is the head Capital Markets and Insurance Fraud section of the EFCC, Ibrahim Liman.
Capital market is a market where buyers and sellers of financial securities meet. The financial securities traded in the capital market are usually bonds, some of them are bonds and shares. The capital market is usually for long-term investments. That is why you see a lot of people make mistakes. They invest in the capital market with the aim of getting short-term benefit, but the capital market is usually for long-term investments. And the capital market aggregates funds from the surplus sector of the economy to any other part of the economy where the funds are needed. That is why you see even state governors, federal government, quoted companies goes to the capital market to raise funds.
What is the difference between money market and capital market?
Money market is a market where financial instruments are traded. The financial instruments are usually commercial papers and some other instruments that are traded in the money market. Even treasury bills are some of the instruments traded in the money market. Money market is a very liquid market. It's one of the features of the money market, unlike the capital market, is a short term. Is for short term investment.
What was the capital market and insurance fraud section of the EFCC established to achieve?
Yes, the capital market and insurance fraud section of the EFCC was established to check the incidence of fraud. As you know, there are a lot of fraud going on, especially in the capital market, where you find a lot of fraud, such as the identity fraud, where people take the identity of other persons and goes and sell their shares and what have you. We had a lot of that kind of fraud taking place. So, and some of the fraud that takes the Ponzi schemes happens in the capital market. The unauthorized sale of shares by some stockbroking firms and what have you. So all this, and sometimes even large corporations also indulge in some of these fraud issues. Some of them inject monies into their shares to activate the shares in the market, to make the shares very active, so that it will attract investors to come and buy. Because when people see that a particular shares are active in the market, they tend to put a lot of money to come and buy. So those are some of the reasons why the section was established, to check the incidence of fraud.
So what's the role of EFCC in the capital market?
The role of EFCC, one, is to collaborate with the regulators of the market, like the SEC, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, the stock exchange, so that to see how we can put heads together and to check this incidence of fraud. And also, sometimes we enlighten the public on some of these things, some of these fraud incidences. And sometimes when we see that some of those companies, especially Ponzi schemes going on, some of those companies that bring all these Ponzi schemes are inviting the public to come and invest in their businesses. We check it. If it's really a Ponzi scheme, we block the account and we start investigating it, and we return the funds of members of public that have invested into the business. So these are some of our role in this market.
So to what extent has the Commission been able to tackle fraud in the capital market? Yes,
we have really been able to tackle some of the fraud cases. That is why you see some of them, if you are aware of, in those days from early 2000 to sometime 2013, 2014, there was this high incidence of identity theft in the capital market. So the Commission currently, from that period, investigated cases, charged a lot of the fraudsters to court. And some of the feedbacks we are having, even from the regulators, is that this kind of fraud has drastically gone down, even though it's still there, but it has drastically reduced.
What benefits does Nigeria stand to gain from the activities of capital market and insurance fraud section of the EFCC?
Some of the benefits that Nigeria stand to gain, one, is that the incidence of fraud will go down, definitely, and it has gone down. And we are still doing the best we could in checking the incidence of fraud so that we can bring them down. And also some of our activities in the capital market and insurance fraud section, we sensitize members of the public. We protect the interests of the public. When we see that the public is being misguided, members of public are being misguided sometimes to invest in some investment scheme. So we go out there to protect public by stopping such businesses that are meant to defraud members of public.
And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of The Eagle. You can kindly send your enquiries and suggestions on anything about the EFCC to the Eagle at efccnigeria.org. You can also search and follow us on all our social media platforms at Official EFCC. Before I leave, here are some wise sayings from some famous English philosophers. Herbert Spencer once said, and I quote, "The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action." And Tim Sanders also said that education without application is just entertainment. Action, action, action. Don't just get the information, put it to use. And if you suspect that someone is about to defraud you, please report to the EFCC and let's fight economic and financial crimes together. My name is Aisha Mohammed. From all of us here, it's goodbye. God bless Nigeria, and please be kind to one another.